Go watch part 1. Now that we have discussed situations before a combo and during a combo through neutral, link or chain-based systems, frame advantage, and notation, let's talk about what can happen after a combo. Oki, Safejumps, mix-ups, and Meaties. Oki sounds like it's gonna be weird, but it's not. It's actually just Japanese for wake up. Short for Okizeme, Oki is what you do after you finish your combo to keep pressure applied on your opponent to keep your turn. Just to be clear, when the opponent wakes up is when you do your Oki. Oki can be several things among the other keywords I'm about to talk about, making it a more blanket term. Opponent is knocked down? Time for Oki. Safejumps are setups after a combo that allow you to jump, press an air normal, and land in time to block an invincible reversal, and punish with a full combo after. Correctly doing a safe jump is a catch-22 for your opponent. If they block the safe jump, they have to hold block pressure and you keep advantage. If they do a reversal, full max damage punish combo. It's a lose-lose situation for opponent if done correctly. But again, correctly. A safe jump is one of the hardest things to learn for basic fighting game tech, simply because if you are one frame off, it's either you getting punished because the safe jump was done too late, or your air normal doesn't come out and you end up in close proximity of your opponent, which can mean a plethora of situations if done too early. Safe jumps are high risk, high reward. But if that safe jump is safe, you're eating good. Mix-ups, or more simply mix, is a bit safer than a safe jump, but leads to safer situations for you if the opponent guesses right in return. Mix normally comes down to two different situations, 50-50s or 4-way mix. 50-50 is self-explanatory. You have to block it one way or another. Commonly, they're overhead low mix, but it can also be left-right mix or strike-throw mix, both of which are rather self-explanatory. This can be done on the ground by an overhead normal or a low normal, or in the air with an air normal, which tend to automatically be overheads. There are a few exceptions. Or an empty jump low. An empty jump is just jumping and doing nothing until you land, by the way. 4-way is normally similar to 50-50, but you add a cross-up into the mix. 4-way mix tends to go the way of same side overhead, same side low, cross-up overhead, or cross-up low. 4-way and left-right mix can also be pretty ambiguous at times. I mean, look at this. Yeah, that's pretty fucked, right? It was a cross-up, by the way. Mix can also be done in other parts of the game, like during block strings, after another mix, in neutral versus a more passive opponent, among many other variations. Mix is definitely the low risk, low to medium reward option, since depending on the mix, you're either getting a full conversion, or the hit and no conversion, but you're keeping frame advantage, so you're still on the attack afterwards. Finally, Meaties. Yeah, it sounds weird, but let me explain. A Meatie is an attack that has a lot of active frames that you use as the opponent is getting up to hit them on the later active frames, thereby giving you more frame advantage to link into more normals in a link-based game on hit, and just more plus frames for pressure on block, and actually linking in a chain game, and again, more plus frames on block. A very simple concept once it's explained. Alright, I know we've talked a lot already, and I promise, we're almost done. But there are still a few more terms I have to explain since they're more advanced concepts, but you will still see them in even mid-level play. First of these is a tick throw. Tick throws are throws that are done right after pressing a light, low hit stun attack. Normally done in the way of light attack, walk forward, sometimes called a micro walk, throw. Just about every character can do it with the game's universal throw option, but grapplers can also do this with their command grab sometimes. There is a timing factor to this, which is what makes it a more technical option, but is a good option since normal throws normally allow for good advantage states. A la a hard knockdown, plus frames, both, and even more, which can make this option very rewarding. Frame traps are next. As the name implies, a frame trap is a purposeful delay in a block string that is short enough that if the opponent presses during the delay, they will get counter hit. This can be very powerful if done properly. Keyword, properly. You can end up delaying the string too much, causing either a miss of the cancel or you getting counter hit. There is also the worry of the opponent mashing out an invincible reversal during the gap, so there is a bit of counterplay to this technique. Hit confirms are normally short parts of a combo or a block string that are the exact same in order to confirm whether the opponents are blocking or got hit. In chain games, these are normally done by mashing your light attack, normally a 2A. Simple concept, simple definition. In air dash fighters like BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, Melty Blood, and countless others, you can do an air dash very low to the ground as soon as you jump in the air. This is called an instant air dash, or an IAD for short. IADs are done by jumping forward, returning to neutral, and then pressing forward. In numpad, the input is 956, for a forward IAD at least, and the opposite directions for a backwards IAD, so 754. IADs are very strong since you can use a jump attack very close to the ground, so you get massive frame advantage as well. It's normally a very aggressive option as well, since you normally can't block immediately after air dashing, so place your IADs well, or they will get stuffed out by an anti-air, a reversal, what have you. Then we have the Tiger Knee, or a TK for short. A TK is when you do an aerial special move as close to the ground as you possibly can. The reason it's called a Tiger Knee is due to Sagat's special move that shares the same name. The input for it being 2369 in numpad, in classic it's quarter circle forward, up forward. Even though it was a grounded move, the name stuck. The move itself was an approach tool that avoided lows by jumping in the air knee first at the opponent. Sometimes, fighting game devs will make an aerial special move you can't TK, normally for balance reasons. Sometimes though, you can use another move along with it that ignores the restriction, which allows you to do the TK just a little bit harder. Such as Sho from Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, or P4U2, or Rashid in Street Fighter 6. Ironically, I play both, so... and that's it. It sounds complicated when you explain it, but once you actually, go and try and do a TK, it's really not hard. Lastly, Fuzzies. No, it's not something that makes you feel all warm inside. It's actually kind of a disgusting technique when done properly. A fuzzy, defensively, is when someone tries to guard a low and an overhead at the same time in rapid succession, normally by standing crouch blocking rapidly. This is called fuzzy guard. Offensively, a fuzzy mix is when you have the opponent block an overhead attack, typically a jump in, so they block standing. Then, doing another overhead when they think you're going low. They'll get hit by the second overhead even though they are still standing. Why is this? Let me tell you. The game basically can't respond to them crouching fast enough, so you hit their standing hurt box, which is larger than your crouching hurt box, while they are crouch blocking. Pretty fucked up, not gonna lie. You'll hear OG Dragon Ball FighterZ players still complain about fuzzy snap meta sometimes to this day. You straight up couldn't play certain characters because they were so tall they were easier to fuzzy mix at the time, making them surprisingly squishy because everyone has the same amount of health in that game. Oh, and there were height fuzzy specific combos too, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong on that though. Season 2 DBFZ was a wild ride if you didn't play top tiers, like this fucking rat. And I think that about covers it. I'm sure I'm missing something. If I did and you hear the word either on my streams, at twitch.tv/Reswish by the way, from friends, or your locals, support your locals by the way, you can check the fighting game glossary by Infill, which will be linked down below in the description. And I have a bot in my chat that can link you to certain keywords in the glossary on my streams by typing !glossary and then whatever word is said or written in chat. Alright. See you next time when I put everything I've taught you into practical use. Peace out. Wish on.